Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to explore this new cookbook that just came in the mail for me, the Cook Once Dinner Fix. Now if you watched my last video, which hopefully you did, you got to see some of the bonuses that come along when you pre-order the book. If you didn't see that video, you might want to go back and check it out because you want to make sure you grab those free recipes before the book releases September 14th. Today's meal is going to be from the vegetarian section, and that's what sets this book apart from the last book, is that there's an entire chapter all about the veggies and eating vegetarian, which I'm super excited about. Number one, eating vegetarian occasionally or totally is good for you. That's a great way to get new vegetables and a larger quantity of vegetables into your diet and your kids' diet. And number two, it is cheaper. Oftentimes it is cheaper. And one thing I love about this book here is that Cassie has put in a price system. Let's see there. See the little dollar signs? And this recipe we're doing today, there are $2 signs, and I believe it goes up to 4, so between 1 and 4. And that'll give you an idea of how much the ingredients cost for the recipes that you're picking. So today we're gonna make a pesto potato and mushroom pizza, and we're gonna prep for the smashed potato bowls with a cauliflower tabbouleh, which is, it has cucumber, tomatoes, mint, parsley, a bunch of goodness in there. It's real fresh, kind of like a salad, but not really. You'll see when we make it. And this recipe we're doing today, they are a $2 recipe according to the book, so they're on the cheaper side, which is a great way to save money. Your grocery bill is probably a huge part of your budget, so if we can save some money there, then we have more money to spend on other fun things, right? And I will say you could save even more money. I'm using some shortcuts. I bought a pesto instead of making it. You could totally make your own. And the pizza crust is gonna vary. You can use any kind of pizza crust you like. Some cost more and some cost less. You can make it a gluten-free. You could use a gluten-free crust. You could use the cauliflower crust, whatever your family enjoys. And also the recipe calls for shiitake mushrooms, which depending on where you live can be more expensive mushroom. This recipe would work great with the baby portobello mushrooms or even regular old white mushrooms, and even, I'm gonna say it, you could even probably get away with canned mushrooms if that's what you have on hand. How this is gonna work is I'm gonna go ahead and make the pizzas today. That's going to be my lunch this afternoon. And I'm gonna make enough roasted potatoes that they can last for the next meal tomorrow for my family. And if I was making a fresh tzatziki, which I don't, it's in the refrigerator, but I'm using a pre-bought one just to save time. But if I was making it, I could make that while I'm cooking today, and then that would be ready to go. And everything else I could pre-chop for tomorrow, and it would come together so quickly. And that's kind of the point of this book, is you make one dinner while you're in the kitchen, while the dishes are out, you make a little extra, and then that becomes dinner on another night, or lunch on a different day. And that's different than her first book, where you prepped 3 meals in one day, and it was a much bigger prep day. There was a prep day. This takes away the prep day. You're in the kitchen anyway, you have to make dinner, so why not just make a little extra and be ready for the next day? And the book is written in 2 meals at a time, so in a series. You could choose 2 series and you'd have 4 nights of meals, and that would take you through the whole week, pretty much. So step 1 is gonna be to roast these potatoes, and I bought really small Yukon Gold potatoes so that I don't have to chop them up. Use a little olive oil or whatever oil you like. I'm using avocado. Just drizzle it on there. Then we're gonna salt them. So I'm gonna use the white salt today. Give them a little salt, or a lot, however much you want. You can always season more later. Hands in there. And there you go. Then we're just gonna roast those, and half are gonna be used on our pizza and half are gonna be used for our next meal. Okay, so here are our potatoes, fresh from the oven. And they are soft. That's how you know they're done. Half of these are gonna go in one container for one dish, and then half will go in the other. So I have my crust here, and actually I'm using a flatbread because it's only 130 calories for the whole thing, and I just preheated it so it'll be extra crispy once we cook it. And then this is gonna be so easy. Like, you could make your own, or I'm using Trader Joe's Pesto. Okay, we're gonna need our mushrooms. Now I'm using shiitake because that's what the recipe calls for, but you could certainly use any other type of mushroom. It's gonna be a little bit cheaper depending on where you live. So get whatever's on sale or whatever you like. Our potatoes, our pesto, and all we need is cheese. And some basil, which my basil has seen better days. Oh my. Okay, we'll put that there. So first thing, I need to slice my potatoes, and they might be hot. They're a little warm. You just want to thin slice them, or you could probably dice them too. And I think this recipe, I'm making it as written, but it would be so good with all kinds of other vegetables on it as well. If you're looking for a way to eat more vegetables, like some bell pepper, maybe some onions. I'm just gonna spread it on my flatbread. Now, if you think your kids might not want to eat this, I don't know, my kids really like the red sauce. You could easily take one of your mini pizzas and make them just cheese and red sauce, or cheese, red sauce, and mushroom, whatever you can get them to eat. So first we're gonna put on our mozzarella, and I love these super thick shreds, but you could certainly use whatever kind you like. Okay, then I'm gonna put my potatoes on there. And mushrooms. I'm gonna chop mine up a little bit. These are kind of big. And then the second kind of cheese is a Parmesan. I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on top. Give it a nice flavor. I'm gonna add a little salt and pepper. And you can even drizzle that with a little olive oil if you wanted to. I'm just gonna bake it for about 15 minutes. And at the end, we will garnish it with our basil. So I'm gonna get started on the next meal now. So first thing we do, we have our potatoes that we made earlier. I'm gonna put them out on my baking sheet and smash them. Ooh, garlic powder, pepper, and then we're just gonna roast these up so that they crisp. So while those are cooking, they're gonna cook about 20 minutes, and then there's directions in here to bake your own tzatziki, but I'm saving time and I bought one. Here we go. So whatever tzatziki you like, there it is, finished. Next, we are going to work on the cauliflower tabbouleh. So all we need to do here is we're just gonna take our cauliflower rice, and you could rice it yourself or buy pre-packaged. You can even buy it frozen, or this is fresh. I'm gonna heat my olive oil first, or actually I use avocado oil. You don't need much, and I'm not making much because I'm only doing one serving of this. This is easy. We're just softening this up with a little oil. Add it with our chopped cucumber. We'll need a little garlic. I'm using a shortcut. I'm just gonna chop up some mint. I'm gonna add my mint, some fresh parsley, and you could use the curly kind, or this is the flat leaf Italian. Totally up to you. Parsley in there. You roll it to get the juices flowing. And then I'm gonna use my handy dandy lemon squeezer. So I'm just gonna add some lemon juice. Cauliflower is done. We're just gonna toss that in there. How beautiful it is with the colors and the fresh herbs. The pizza just came out, so let me show you the pizza. Here it is. Now I overcooked it because I got distracted with the next meal. but I like crispy. So this is nice and crisp, you see, and then we're gonna garnish it with some of our fresh basil. Now to assemble our bowls, we're gonna take our salad here, put that in there. So we have our potatoes. Ideally, we would let those cool, but you serve it over top. Ooh. You see they're nice and crispy. Now, I am not a food stylist, so this is real life here. And all we have to do is add our tzatziki, homemade or store-bought. And tzatziki, in case you're not familiar with it, it is a kind of like a dip, so good. It's made with Greek yogurt usually, cucumber, there's lots of dill in here, super good, and some garlic. Plop that on there. And there we have it.